Don't settle. So, we are at the part of the book where I get into the issue of settling. So, I think you know by now you shouldn't settle. And that's just plain and simple. A lot of people, a lot of you, for various reasons, you may be one of those individuals where you're facing circumstances that's making you question if you should settle, if your standards are too high. You know, for some people, they feel like their clock is ticking. They feel like there's not many good options out there. Um, there's various different reasons why, but at the end of the day, do not do it. It's not worth it. It's not going to be beneficial for you in the long run. And though it may put a band aid on the issue right now, it's going to create deeper wounds later. And you're going to look back and you're going to regret it, because that's what happens to so many people. So many of my clients who got into those relationships or married that person who they knew deep inside they were settling with are paying the price for it. Now, granted, you can always heal, you can always get back on the right track, but you don't want to set yourself back several years or even several months dealing with someone that it's really not there with. And the reality is that a lot of people never receive the person who's truly best for them because they're too busy caught up with the wrong person or wrong people. Because some individuals go from bad relationship to bad relationship to bad relationship. And since they're essentially off the market, emotionally unavailable, and caught up in a cycle of negativity, they're not even in position to receive the person best for them. And so the settling or the perception that you're not going to receive better is due to the fact that you're not in a position to receive better. Someone the other day, actually a client of mine, it was a brand new client, and she came to me and she was dealing with this guy, and she flat out said, yes, part of the reason why she struggles to let him go is she feels like there's not really any better options out there. And since he technically treated her better than her previous guys that she dated, well, she thinks it's not going to get better than this. And I asked her, well, what are you doing to put yourself out there to even meet new people? And she said nothing. So it's like, how are you gonna say there's nothing good available? What are you doing? You're looking at social media. You're hearing from different girlfriends. You don't know what these other women are doing or not doing in their situations that's creating negative results. So you cannot base your perceptions off of their experiences alone. You have to understand or have to embrace the fact that you have to position yourself so that you can see that better does exist, and it does. But let me make a very strong point that I don't believe I made in the book. And that's the fact that, listen, I will never tell you to lower your standards, but you may have to raise your qualifications. And what I mean by that is many people have certain desires and for what they want in a relationship, what they want in a man, so on and so forth. And I'm never knocking that. Like, I'm not going to tell you don't go for what you want, or don't wait and hold strong to what you desire in your relationship, in your partner, and all those wonderful things. Just make sure you're not getting so caught up in your quote unquote list that you're overlooking connection, that you're overlooking the deeper qualities and the foundational pieces necessary to have a successful relationship. However, again, I'm not knocking you for your preferences. I'm not going to tell you to lower your standards. But if you aren't exuding the qualities that would attract that kind of person or create that kind of relationship, then you have to check yourself. You got to be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, am I really where I need to be to get what I want? Look at it as if you're applying for a job. If you're applying for a managerial position and everywhere you apply, you're not getting any hitbacks, and there's really not that many job openings that you see for managerial positions. Now, one choice is to say, well, it's just not many options out there. There's nothing I can do. I'm a good candidate, but it's just not working out. Then you get discouraged. You either end up settling for a lower position, all right, or you just give up on the whole process altogether. Now, here's the other option. The other option is to say, wait a minute, if I'm not getting any hitbacks, if I'm not getting the interviews, if I'm not allowed to walk in that door, what can I do better to get those opportunities? Is it revamping your resume? Is it adding certain qualities, certain skills to your repertoire so that now you're a more desirable candidate? And let me tell you, the people who look at themselves in the mirror, make some necessary changes, make the adjustments, they get the better results. And listen, I'm not telling you this for you to beat yourself up or feel bad. I'm not saying become someone you're not. I am saying become the best version of you. Many of you are not truly walking in your true potential. So what you're waiting for and what you're desiring isn't coming, not because it doesn't exist, but because you have not built yourself up to the place or to the person that you need to be to receive it. And not just receive it, but to keep it. Because the reality is this, and I mentioned this in the video I posted online, where a lot of women, when they get that high quality guy, it intimidates them. They run away from it. They don't think they're good enough, or they question, why me? Why is he with me? And part of that stems from deeper insecurities, lack of self-esteem, and that is connected, or that's correlated to the fact that you haven't built yourself up to a place where not only are you confident, but you're in a mindset that says, I deserve the best. Like when the best comes along, it isn't why me, it's like, of course me. Like, you better believe he's gonna choose me because I know I'm awesome. Like, that's where you really need to be in life. And so you have to evaluate, how can you achieve that? How can you bring yourself to that place? Don't run away from it. Don't run away from self-improvement and development. Like, that's a beautiful thing. And it's not just for the sake of getting a man. It's for your quality of life. It's for you being able to enjoy things at a greater level, and you being able to experience even more in your life. So be willing to look at how you can be better. Again, you don't have to lower your standards, but you may have to raise your qualifications. And this applies to men and women. So do not think this is just a woman thing. I would say the same, or I do say the same thing to men. And I've said it to myself in my self-development. Like, we all have to be willing to embrace that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful, powerful thing when you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I need to be better. And here are the areas I can improve, and let me do that. And watch, I promise you, you take that approach, you're going to see better results. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind. You're going to see the fruition of your work that you put into yourself. And let me also throw this kind of, I guess, caveat in. It's not just about how you perceive your self-development, but again, how the person or the type of person you desire will perceive your self-development. Meaning, if I'm looking for a certain kind of woman, I have to be mindful of what that woman looks for in a man. There's nothing wrong with that. So you as a woman, if you know you want a certain kind of man, then yes, be mindful of the qualities that he's going to embrace. Not just what your friends tell you, oh girl, you good, you fine the way you are, you're amazing. And you may very well be amazing, but that doesn't mean you're speaking to the desires of what the man that you would want in your life is looking for. And so you have to always be willing to embrace that. We all have to be willing to embrace that. And again, that applies in any area of your life. It would be the same thing with your job. It's not about you thinking you're an amazing candidate, you're an amazing employee. It's about understanding, what does that job look for? What do they value? And am I exuding those qualities? Do I possess those qualities? And if I don't, how can I now obtain them so that I can now bring that to the table? So all that to say, again, do not settle. It's not worth it. It's never in your best interest. There's so much that goes wrong with settling, and you should never feel pressured into doing that or allow being discouraged to push you into that. Whenever you feel like you're even considering settling, please pray. Please take a step back and talk to God and get your mind right, because that's not what he wants you to do. God's not setting you up to settle. Trust me, that's not what he wants for your life, because it's not going to bring any glory to him. You know, he doesn't want people to look at you and be like, that's the relationship she got. Like, she's been following God and this is what she gets in her life. Like, no, he wants it to be great, amazing, and for you to be happy with it. So settling is not an option. Work on yourself, embrace the things that you need to do, and embrace the fact that God has something amazing waiting for you.